You're looking at a Jaguar Mk2 Compact A type of overdrive, and I've just removed this from my 1965 Jaguar with a 4-speed synchronous box. And the symptoms that we've been having with the overdrive is sitting for about 15 to 20 years. Got the old Jaguar going, but the overdrive wasn't engaging. Of course, then we played around with the filters and things like that, flushed it out, and then all of a sudden I lost reverse. It would go forward fine, but in reverse it would just it would try to go, but it was acting as if the clutch within the overdrive was slipping. Hopefully there's nothing else wrong, but we'll go through an overhaul of this. You can find quite a bit of information on the Type A, but this is a compact, so I thought maybe I would just video it just for people's sake. So I just go back here, so the prop shaft comes up. I don't think that's a crack, it just looks like a casting flaw. Clean the dirt out later on. Of course, there's a solenoid that was working fine. No adjustment. Levers underneath that plate, it was adjusted fine. And of course, then this is the end here. So here's the Jaguar 3.8 engine, the full synchro box, and of course the overdrive is attached to the end here. And you can see the studs there. You can see four smaller ones on the top, 2 in the bottom, and to remove the overdrive, basically you just have to take the nuts off of those and it slides off of the shaft. This came fairly easy actually. And of course here you can see the cam for the oil pump, and that slides off easily and stuff like that. All right, the engine's got about 50,000 miles on it, so not too bad. While I have this all out, probably polish it up a little bit. Compression's good though, so I'm not going to spend too much time with it other than good cleaning. And of course in the background is the 65 Mk2. It's had a old restoration probably 25 years ago. So it's a little tired looking, but generally in very good driver shape. See what happens. Ah, there's moving. We needed. And off it comes. Okay, there you go. You can see the gasket. You can see where the shaft pulled through. Should have the cam for the oil pump and everything there. Now I drained the overdrive before I did this, but I didn't drain the gearbox. So, which turns out to be a good thing. So there you can see inside a little bit. I'll get this on the bench and we'll start cleaning it out. Alright, I guess per the Jaguar manual, basically what we're going to do to take this apart. First we're going to take these 4 bolts out here, take the bridge pieces off. Then take the solenoid off. I'll probably take the cover off, so that's very easy to do. And then basically we're going to split the casing. That way we can pull this part off here, and see most of the main internals inside. Okay, let's start with the cover plate. This is probably the easiest thing to get off. Just a 5/16 wrench and 4 little screws. Alright, there's your plate. Of course the plate just has your serial number, all that kind of stuff. And this one, can't read all of it, but got the serial number. Probably need that to get parts. And then of course you can see down in here, you've got the little actuator valve here that moves. You do that, and the solenoid of course brings that in. Now we need to get the solenoid loose. Oh, let's move that around. Let's make another 5/16. Yep. One on the top, one on the bottom. My solenoid was working fine. Click away good. With this one, I'm assuming that it wasn't making enough pressure because it would never engage. You didn't get that nice popping sound. And then I'm expecting to find inside that the clutch faces are bad. Which probably is a good thing if something was jammed up so we didn't damage the unidirectional clutch, because it doesn't like going the wrong way. Okay, to remove the solenoid, these are 2 little nuts that are mounted on studs. So. And there's 2 washers underneath them, a flat and a lock. I don't think this has ever been apart, so in theory, oh, actually that one is a bolt. Like I was saying, I don't think this has ever been apart, so everything we find should be needed. Hopefully there's nothing missing. Go, second one. All right, let's see if we can just tap on. There we go. So one solenoid. I guess we're here. I'll take off this shaft too. I'll just. All right, I got this just readjusted. It doesn't look like you actually need to undo that. You can just move the little arm think just slide this out. It's very close. Nope, gonna have to take it apart. Okay, now to get the solenoid shaft off, there's a little bolt on the end here with a lock nut. And then the shaft has a flat spot. It's really small. Out of my clock wrenches, it's number 3, which might be 3 millimeter, but like I say, 6 millimeters is the smallest wrench I have, and it doesn't fit. So, 7/16 it looks like. And again, this is how you adjust the lever. There we go. It's actually coming off easy.
So it's when we soaked everything in cleaning fluid for 2 days. So this right here, that's where that's where the drain is. Yeah, there's a filter behind there and stuff. I'll take that all apart. You can see everything. Again, I could find good information on taking apart Type A, but not a compact Type A. So we'll see how parts are, because you can't even get gasket kits for this. Let's see. We might be making our own gaskets.
Just about, there we go. Okay, so there we go. There's the shaft. Now you can see the flat edge that I was using here. There's your piston. A groove in it. And put that back in like this. All right, now we're going to get these 4 bolts. They've got these little locking tabs, so we're going to have to lift them up. Let's see how easy they go. All right, actually turned out easier to get this underneath there first. And then get the little thing. They're very small and delicate kind of thing. The nut, and then this is the little locking tab that we've been pulling off, so you can see the little ears there. Can't see any reason why these are different, but once we get these apart, we'll see if I need to separate top from bottom or anything like that. See the bar, it's a piston. Nothing too complicated about it. You can see I gummed up the teeth a bit more. So I use that thin thing first. Saves them. All right, I don't think there's left or right. They look identical. So get those out of the way. Again, here you can see the oil pump piston there. And again, per the manual, let's take those apart. And we'll back check it again, and then we'll go start. Okay, per the instructions, now we have to move 4 casing bolts. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then this should pull apart. Solenoid doesn't seem to get in the way too much, but he said take it apart. And the bridging pieces, we'll see what happens to these studs when we pull apart. Now I have seen them pull the pistons out at this time too, but we'll follow the Jaguar manual verbatim here. See what happens there. All right, so these ones are 1/2 inch, I believe. Yep.
For the moment, I'm keeping everything all separate, so I can remember how to put it back together again a little bit better. Of course, the video will. Okay, so there's enough there, no washer. Those ones feel like they're torqued up. Let's get them going now. Okay, so get them back here. Can't see it, but it's the same as this one. And then we take out ones. And we'll find out what these kind of things are. You bring there's a check valve on the other side that it was all covered in overdrive. You couldn't see it. Once you cleaned up, you can see things are there.
It was leaking quite a bit of oil too, so I kind of broken part of the gasket up there. So maybe that was part of our issue too. Well, it didn't drip when you drove it, so that could have caused the pressure problem too much. Going to come off just. Ooh, nope. So this little vent thing is actually stopping that from coming off. It's very close, but we'll just leave it like that. Now, how to separate this? Gently, I guess. All right, let's attempt to separate. I got my little rubber mallet here and my just a piece of hardwood. See if we can tap it gently. Seen anything move yet. Just starting to move very slowly here. collected now. You can start seeing a gap here now. So just keep slowly going at it. There we go. So let's tilt it up this way. Pull up down there to get some oil. Alright, yeah, but take it this way, then it doesn't put all the load on that towel here. Again, this was drained. Oops. On the car. But again, you don't never get everything out. I'm debating if I should stand it up on its end. Probably should pull the prop shaft support off. Hey, keep tapping. We'll try it this way. Oops. There we go. There we go. Okay. Hopefully you can see all that there. So it's cleaned up. Doesn't look like there's any gasket in here. And this is the back bearing here. And this is, I believe, the clutch. And then we got the, so what I think is this surface up here has failed. All right, we'll clean this up a little bit more and then we'll get to the next step. All right, for looking at the pictures, looks like this doesn't come off. So using my handy dandy little piece of hardwood, it's actually just an old stool or leg off of a 60s piece of furniture, but works really good for this kind of stuff. Okay, got that moving. Again, we're just prying off this area here. Again, I can't see any gasket in there. Let's see, you can see it better. There we go. All right. Now, this is kind of slotted. This is easy to line up with that. The two surfaces here. This one's thinner on the inside. And of course it's taped a little bit, and this is thicker. So this would be where the brake pad, if you want to call it, clutch pad, surface it would run against. So inside, and this is the outside. Now you can see all the issues I'm having here. There we go. So we got the sun gear off, and then this is what we call the clutch. Some of that stuff off. And again, you can see we got this kind of surface here. If you can see that. And then this is where I got a brake. So that's one problem with it. Now there may be multiple problems, but this is the main one, is that missing gap there. This is the sun gear. Looks like there's a couple of C-clips to take off. There you can see them before you can get that apart, but we'll just set that aside for now. There's a bearing in there. It feels really nice. And then inside, of course, you got a copper bushing. Looks good in here, though. Again, these will all run through the parts cleaner here later today. Set that to there. More oil. And then in here, you can see the planetary gears. And then behind that's unidirectional clutch. Now, I'm not sure if you can see it, but there's supposed to be a little. You can't see what I'm doing, can you? You gotta be there. Now, this may just lift right up. Yeah. So there's your planetary gear. It just lifts out like that. And then in there's your unidirectional clutch, which is all in touch, engaged, which is good. That all feels good. Feels nice in here. So this we may just not touch it all. We may just leave this set aside. Don't want to dump that upside down because that thing may fall out. All right, so I'll just set that to the side. Again, we'll bring this up close so you can see the planetary gears. Now there's supposed to be little marks on here. Dig hard for those, I guess, so they can get them lined up right. These all spin nice. Yeah, I can't see those marks, but they got to be there. All the books talk about them, so we'll set that aside. And right now, it looks like my main thing is this. But we got lots to go yet because we have to go look at the pump and all that kind of fun stuff. Because I'm pretty sure the pump wasn't making pressure as well. The clutch just seems to be a little bit of an extra thing. All right, we'll clean this up and then we'll get back to taking things apart.